ease up on their legs a little bit.
Welcome, everyone, to tonight's, I guess it's a podcast. Yeah, we're just recording it. And
yes, sir.
It's not live. We're joined by Coach Chris Price of the Leander Lions. Of course, I'm Chuck Kracy, and this is my cohort down here on the end, Frank Rodriguez. We're interviewing Coach here at Jardin del Rey in Leander. So if you enjoy some good Mexican food, come out to Jardin del Rey. We're looking to try to see if they'll become a booster, right?
Yes, sir.
Nothing wrong with chips and salsa or
great
chips
food
and queso.
Here, yes.
And so we want to keep this moderately short, and preferably around a half hour, but it may go a little bit longer, and we may get a little personal with you, Coach. So, in fact, we're going to start off with a question that's not Leander Lions centric. It's more Chris Price centric.
Sure.
So I'm going to ask you. And we'll all talk about which one is ours. But what is your favorite football movie, Coach?
Oh man, favorite football movie.
And you can throw in a couple if you need to.
Yeah, Friday Night Lights I think is the best. Actually, my dad was from Odessa.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I spent a lot of summers in Odessa with my grandmother. And
so you know all about Mojo.
Yeah, I know a lot about Mojo. Coach Grissom, who's on our staff. He's also spent some time in Odessa, so we spent a lot of time talking about Permian and the Broncos. We call them the Bronchos. But, I think that's got to be my favorite one, just having some, feels like hometown ties a little bit, and it's a great movie. It
is a great movie. It really does encapsulate what high school football in the state of Texas is like,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
And I would also choose that movie for my favorite, and I was telling Frank about it a little bit while we were setting up, that those events, while not portrayed exactly as they occurred in the movie, those occurred during my senior year in high school when I was at Midway. So
you remember a lot of it.
Yeah, I do, and I read the book. The thing that really sticks out to me, and it was a year or two later, at least I don't think it was that same year, had to do with the Carter Cowboy cheating scandal. That team there, the Dallas Carter teams, they were something else.
They were, and they were very good for a long time. We actually, I think
they had like 9 guys that made the NFL.
They had a bunch make the NFL, and a bunch go off to just play, at the high-level D1 colleges, and it was a really good team. And like I said, Dallas Carter was really good. Being from the Metroplex area, we actually had a scrimmage with them when I was at Colleyville Heritage, I think, and it was they were talented.
Yeah. Jesse Armstead played for them.
Yes, he did.
And he was a problem for me all the way into his pro career, being a Cowboys fan.
Yes, sir.
Playing with the Giants. And Frank, what's your favorite football movie?
Well, Friday Night Lights came out when I was a freshman, but before that we were watching Varsity Blues a lot.
Yeah.
And I know that's not exactly a PG-13 movie, but it was a camaraderie thing for us growing up.
Right.
But we really embraced the Friday Night Lights when it came out because Leander High School back in the day had the stands from the Mojo.
Yes,
so when we ran the bleachers, it was real special to us back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like Booby Miles used to run this. In our brains we thought it was.
Yeah.
So it was amazing that we had that. And not a lot of people knew about it.
Old Ratliff Stadium.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the stadium it came from.
And another interesting tidbit related to Friday Night Lights, the TV show had Leander's uniforms.
It did.
And they utilized some of the game footage from past Lion teams.
It's the first season. It's a homecoming game where the quarterback's in the wheelchair. And you can see my little self jump up over everybody on the pile, and we were called the Larry B. Lions is what they called us.
Yeah.
So
Based on
Pflugerville
High.
Did you get a credit on the?
No, we didn't get no credit. But during that time, they kept asking us to be extras in the show, but we didn't have any time to.
Sure.
But that game when we beat Pflugerville, that's that same game they were throwing rocks at our bus because they were mad.
Well, and speaking of Pflugerville, we'll start there, Coach.
Yep.
Well, actually, let's not get into the season just yet. Let's talk about all the distractions going on at Leander High School. Coach, I was really worried that those concrete barriers were not going to be removed from directly in front of the high school there on Baghdad Road. So what are they telling you about all of that?
Yeah, so you have two different forms of construction going on. The one you're referring to on Baghdad is through the city, and so I don't know exactly what they're doing, but they're connecting something with one of the sewer lines, I believe. And so we had good news this week. The first concrete barriers along Baghdad closest to Leander High School, they were down a few days ago, so that's going to relieve some of the traffic pressure that I think everybody's been feeling traveling down Baghdad. Now they extended it down past Crystal Falls, I think, at this point now. So hopefully it has, now that they've removed that, there's minimal impact on the school day and getting buses in and all those things.
So I'm sure they got a lot of calls from the high school parents about when that's going to be completed.
Yeah. I've had the pleasure of sitting in a lot of meetings I didn't expect to sit in, a lot of construction meetings and a lot of planning meetings in terms of transportation with our school buses, how we get kids in and out. So, yeah, there's been a lot of things. Oh, thank you. There's been a lot of things that we've talked about to try to make it as easy as it can be for us as we start school next Wednesday.
Well, as long as we're not having to enter through the back of the building like we had to do during basketball season last year.
No, so that's the good news about construction. I actually got to walk the new construction attached to the building and got to see the lobby and both of our new gym areas and the new football locker rooms. And so we're excited. We're going to be able to move in next week.
Yeah, it looks nice.
It's very nice.
I saw that they had some flags up, I guess, to kind of commemorate the newness of it.
Yeah.
Is there going to be like a
ribbon cutting
ceremony?
Yeah, there will be. Our school community relations department at the district level, they take care of all of that, and so I'm sure they're going to they did a great job with our turf baseball field, so I'm sure they'll put together something for that as well.
Well, and that's another thing on the campus that you've really done kind of overseen what's going on at the baseball field. There's been work at the softball field. Basketball has had recent work during your tenure, and now all of this. The football stadium, it got new turf right before you came, and they did some renovations to it.
Yep.
Now you got new lockers. You already had the new weight room set up, right?
Yes, sir.
So when is there going to be a tour of that for guys like Frank and me?
Well, you guys are welcome anytime you want. So, like I said, we went through safety checks over the last couple of days. They're going to give us an opportunity to start moving our kids in pretty quick, and so we're going to actually have a volleyball game next Tuesday. So it's going to be open for that. So it'll be an opportunity.
So a live competitive
event.
Yeah, on the record.
Everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has school started already?
School will start next Wednesday.
So next week.
Yeah.
And so you're saying the volleyball game is next Friday?
Next Tuesday, August the 12th.
Next Tuesday, so the day before school starts.
Yes, sir.
So I guess they've been in there working already. Those girls.
Have.
I saw a video of, I guess the training room's mobile right now, right?
It is.
Where is that at? What is that about?
So if Chuck referred to kind of our parking and drop-off situation last year, that back parking lot in between the building and the baseball field, if you go back there now, you're going to see two massive trailers. Those are going to be temporary locker rooms for a lot of our sports on campus this year. Just in between those trailers and the school, you're going to find another trailer, and that's where our athletic training room is right now. So it's close to the kids to give them access, and we've had to kind of get creative. There's no way for us to really go through the building right now. Obviously, we're going to only have access next year to that new weight room facility and the new gym. So we've had to get a little creative, but we're making it work.
Well, and it's the key there is it's improving the facilities, right?
Absolutely.
Because that is a pretty old building.
Yeah.
And it is, in my mind, it should be the flagship of the district, right? I mean, it carries the name of the school district, so it should certainly be at the top in terms of facilities and expectations as well for performance. And we've seen improvement both in the football program, but also in basketball, in girls softball. They've made some deep runs lately. Baseball's won district in the last few years. All of this is occurring as you're the athletic coordinator, right? Is that your title, athletic coordinator?
That is my title.
Okay,
yes,
because I always want to call you athletic director, right? Like colleges, but and so you're overseeing all of this at the same time while you're building your football program. And we've talked about this in the past. You came in during an odd time, a transition mid-year, and then COVID hits.
Yeah.
And, there's just all of these things that have been thrown your way in terms of distractions, but we still continue to see the football team improve really from game to game. But ultimately, if you look over your tenure here from season to season, and now you're getting to a point where people are going to expect you to win more and more games, obviously.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about football. Last year, you had a pretty tall quarterback, could fling the ball pretty well, but he ran the ball really well as well. He got hurt, and then you had your I guess maybe he's QB1. I don't know. I guess you'll tell us.
Yeah.
A guy step in and play pretty well. Named Mason Montgomery, not the Mason Montgomery that pitches for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Great game the other day. Yeah.
But the Mason Montgomery who is he the starter?
As of right now, he's leading the room right now. We try not to say a lot about starters, even if guys are kind of returning, until we've kind of had tomorrow's scrimmage. So we're going to have our first inter squad tomorrow, and everybody's going to kind of get that opportunity to go out and perform, and then we'll have the chance over the weekend to kind of evaluate what we see. And so I will tell you this, both of our quarterbacks that are in the room right now with varsity experience have been really, really good so far in this first week of practice. So
and I can't recall his name right now, not Mason, but the other quarterback that played a lot. He's more of a pocket style quarterback, right?
Connor Worley, is the other young man that's working out at the quarterback room kind of for that varsity spot. We believe that both of them are quality quarterbacks. Mason's got a lot of experience because he played a lot at receiver last year.
Well, and I was going to say you lose a receiver when you put him at quarterback, right?
Yeah, but he's a talented quarterback. I will say that, and he's just one of those special football players that can kind of do whatever you ask, and more importantly, he wants to do whatever you ask.
Well, and he's athletic, and you can kind of see the competitive streak in his play. So, Frank, you got any questions about the offense?
Yeah, how's the ground crew
looking
looking
like
this
running
year?
backs.
How's that ground crew looking? We got a short game package, or?
Yeah, absolutely. We returning an all-district running back, Kamarion Gordon. We're really excited about
Arkansas
him.
boy.
Yeah, from Arkansas, and we. The big part of the run game, you got to have linemen. And we lost a big one last year. Anytime you lose a center, that's really difficult. I mean, people talk about the quarterback, but everything does start with the center.
With that,
And so, that has been the place that we've had to really focus in and try to find the guy that not only can just do the snapping part, but can help us ID defenses and help kind of keep the other guys in line. And we've got a couple of guys that have done a great job so far this week. Like I said, tomorrow being the first scrimmage format, we'll see if all that transitions into a game-like situation.
And so that scrimmage is what time tomorrow?
We're going to start at 8:15 tomorrow.
In the morning?
Yes, sir.
There you go. Keep it cool.
Try to keep it as cool as we can. And, tomorrow's just about getting as many reps in as we can so we can actually get a fair evaluation on everybody and make sure we have guys in the right spot and on the right teams and those things.
So that's against another high school?
No, this is our inter-squad. Yes,
okay.
sir. Yes, sir. So it's just against us. We've done a couple of competitive things so far this week. We've done some 7-on-7 and some inside run drill work, but it doesn't mean a whole lot until you get them all on the field at the same time and really see it all work together. So,
well, and my memory is you get tired of hitting your teammates.
Absolutely.
Too. You're ready to hit somebody else.
Yeah.
Is tomorrow full contact? Or
tomorrow's
is it?
full contact.
Okay.
Yeah, we went through In the UIL, you have a acclimatization period, so you have to spend a couple of days in just the helmet, a couple of days in just shells, and then you get to your full contact day. So we're going to try to let it loose tomorrow.
Not to dig into any secrets, but it's not like anybody will know by the time we upload this. The scrimmage will be over. Is it going to be ones-on-ones?
Yeah, so we do – in that scrimmage, we set it up a lot of different ways to try to get some different situations so that the kids can start thinking about things. So we do have some one-on-one, best-on-best situations, and then we have some other situations that may be ones versus twos. And then we always kind of end it off with just a block of time where we let the clock run.
It's
and
live.
It's as live as we can make it. We just kind of let the clock run, and when that clock is done, we're done. But we just want to fill the game situation, move the ball, talk about first downs, and just try to simulate the game as much as we can.
Well, and speaking of practice and scrimmages and things like that, in the past, Leander had spring games. Mm-hmm. There were injuries. A lot of teams have moved away from that.
Yeah.
Even at the collegiate level, they're really not doing that anymore. Primarily, in my opinion, it's for injury purposes. So does that mean that y'all did two-a-days this year, or?
So yeah, you have. So what you get to do if you don't have a spring ball season, you get to start a week earlier. So
okay,
you
get an extra week. Then.
Yeah, you get a whole extra week. So if you had spring ball, those varsity groups will start next week, and if you didn't, you got to start on August the 4th like we did. And so it's. I've been a part of spring ball. We've had spring ball here. We've not had it here. It depends on kind of what you want. I think for us, we have a lot of kids that participate in other sports. We have a lot of kids that play baseball and run track. So finding a time that's not going to – you're not stressing the kids too much or stretching them too thin while they're in a competitive season, playing baseball, trying to win a district championship there. You'd hate to get a kid hurt going through spring ball. So those are all things we kind of consider when we determine whether or not we're going to have spring ball.
Yeah, that extra week at the beginning of the season makes sense to me. I mean,
sure.
You get that jitters out, and it's always that week, hey, we don't want to carry it on to the beginning of the season. Let's go ahead and get it out the way now.
Yeah. And you find yourself sometimes in the spring ball situation, you teach a lot. You have 18 days basically of spring ball. So you get a lot taught, but sometimes you have the summer and you have to go back and reteach it when you start again. So, like I said, it just kind of depends on the makeup of your program, the kids that are in the program, and kind of what fits you on how you handle it.
There's a lot of time between spring and that fall that those kids can forget all that stuff.
Sure.
Not to mention, kids work out a lot more in the summer than when I played.
Sure.
Our workouts were essentially riding our bikes places and stuff. But now you see them working out in programs. Sometimes they have their own trainers.
Sure.
At the very least, they're going to the strength and conditioning coach during the summer and putting in the work. And so, to me, two-a-days was always kind of a rite of passage for football players. It was something that you did as a teenage boy it's like, I hate it when people compare football to war and battles, but it is kind of like you're in the trenches with your boys. You have to get up and you have to be on the field at 6:45, and then you got to be back at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then that very next day when you have to get up at 6:45, you can almost not even get out of bed, right? Because all that soreness.
Touch the line and come back. Yeah,
if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah, it definitely is a thing, and you mentioned some of the things our kids are in. There's also 707. I think from when all of us were in high school, we as coaches have a little bit more time to spend with them because we do run our own strength conditioning camp. We do get to place, have 707 competitions and get to work with them in that capacity. So even if you don't have spring ball per se where you're padded and in helmets, there's still a lot of opportunities to go out and get work done.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, and you can do a lot of the mental work without the pads on, right?
Yeah.
You just have to tie it all together when you get that opportunity with the equipment on. So, Coach, are there any changes to the offense at all? Are we going to be seeing kind of the spread that we've been running? I mean, I noticed we were under center a little bit more this past year than we have been in prior years. Are you transitioning the offense, or is that just something you gear towards the talent that you have?
Yeah, you just kind of look at. I mean, you mentioned kind of what our quarterback was last year. He's a big body kid. I mean, it's not a tush push, but if a 6'5" guy starts leaning
just
on
lean
you,
forward,
it's a little bit different. And so you should, you don't change the offense necessarily every year, but you do adapt things to try to fit the skill set of the kids that you have now. I will tell you that we're going to operate the offense the same way. We have a couple of quarterbacks that have strong arms and the ability to run. This is probably the most depth that we had across the board at receiver. We feel like all of the kids that are going to line up there have the ability to run, find space, and get open. And then you return a district all-district running back. So offensively, what I've been telling the kids all week is our primary goal is to take what the defense is giving us. We're not going to force the issue. If they're going to cram 7 guys, 8 guys, 9 guys in the box, we're going to take the opportunity to let our quarterback use his arm and the receivers use their ability to get open to make plays. If they feel like they have to, drop 8 to cover us all, then we're going to let our all-district running back carry the ball and make it easy on our offensive linemen to where they're blocking, 5 guys and not trying to block 7. So, we're going to do a lot of systematic things where we are paying attention to where what the box looks like and where our mismatches are, guys that we can take advantage of.
Well, in coaching in the past, a lot of the attitude was like, we're going to line up and we're just going to do what we do and we're going to dominate you no matter what you do defensively. That's really not been the philosophy over the last 20, 25 years. It's take what the defense is going to give you.
Yes.
And matriculate the ball down the field and take the big play, obviously, when you get it. But there's certainly the talent in all of the skill areas. One of the areas we haven't really spent much time talking about so far are the receivers.
Yeah.
So talk to us about your receiving core. Who's going to be playing that H-back? Who's going to come out of the backfield and get the occasional
How do we replace the Magic Man? That's the question right there.
Yeah. He is definitely a hard one to replace. Actually, got a couple of emails back and forth from his dad, and he's off at Mary Hardin Baylor. And we're really excited for him. So he definitely had, big shoes to fill, but we do have a returner that backed him up last year that certainly has the ability to step into that role.
Montgomery?
At the H-back spot, it's Liam Gaither.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you said Magic Mind. I was talking about Garrett Pites. We were talking about H-back. I thought you were talking about our H-back from last year. You're talking about Zane Woodward.
Zane Woodward,
yes.
sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. To your point about, our extended receivers, Isaac Montgomery, we think has an opportunity to be really special.
He's still young, too. He was a sophomore last year.
He's going to be a junior.
He's going to be a junior. So he's one that definitely has the ability. Dominic Harmillo, he's a returner, made some big plays for us last year. Malachi Ramos played a lot for us last year. And then they're backed up in all of those spots by some kids that either came up late and got some opportunities on varsity last year or really quality JV players last year. And so, like I said, that is one of the deepest positions we have right now is that receiver.
Well, and I think from a kid perspective, they don't realize the value of that extra year on JV. If you're just going to be on the sidelines on the varsity and only playing 3 to 5 plays in a couple of week period, when you could be playing entire games on the JV, the improvement is drastic compared to those two situations.
Absolutely, and I think when you look at that group in particular, you're going to see those kids that were on JV last year are going to be able to perform a lot better because they did take all of those reps.
So you talked about a little bit about the quarterbacks. We talked a little bit about the running backs. We got the receivers in. You mentioned the lineman. You lost a big one there at center, but you think you've got him replaced, right?
Yeah, we have a couple of guys that have stepped up. You see them, they show up over the summer, and, have you snapped on your own a little bit? That's the first thing. And all of those guys, stole footballs from us so they could snap on their own. And, that's one of the first things you worry about is what is the snap going to look like. And It's been really good so far this week. We haven't had any issues. Again, tomorrow's very big to see what that looks like with someone right over your face, and
it's one thing
snap a step.
It's one thing to snap it in a drill.
Sure.
It's a whole other thing. Even in a inter-squad scrimmage when you know the cameras are rolling on you.
Sure.
And everybody's looking. So I played center, so I understand. I was also a deep snapper, and I messed up a snap against Corsicana that caused a punt block. So it was not a good
night.
Not a good night. No. So we that's the offense, right? Depth-wise, you're pretty good. Nobody can really afford injuries to their ones, but it's nice when you have a little bit of depth coming up from the JV. Is there anybody out there that might surprise us? A new face on offense?
I think we had a young man last year that played some reps behind Kamarion, Jay Coates.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, he's had a good few days. We're excited to see what he does tomorrow. I can go, like I said, I can kind of go down the list at receiver. We have a kid, Evan Linden. He was a JV receiver last year. He's gonna find a way to either impact us positively at the receiver position or somewhere in special teams. There's a ton of guys in that room in particular that I think are going to find a way. And then, again, Liam Gaither backed up Garrett Pites last year, and so I'm excited to see what he does in the run game.
Well, Frank knows a little bit about Liam. Isn't that who you hired?
Oh, Liam, yeah, he's been working with me on the roofs this past summer. Yeah, he'll put him to work.
He'll be nice and tough.
He'll be laying that wood this year for sure.
There we go.
He'll be slinging them shingles.
I bet.
He's been having.
That's a different game in Texas.
Yeah.
He's been having to hear the glory days from Frank on all them roof jobs.
Pep talks. Pep talks.
Just pep talks.
So defensively. You had some guys last year, Wooldridge, one of them, that spent a lot of time on both sides of the ball. Are we going to see some Ironman guys like that this year?
We always we kind of prep for that. I mean, like you said earlier, no one can afford an injury to your ones, but those things occur. So we spent a lot of time in the preseason talking about guys that either played some minutes on both sides of the ball when they were younger and maybe haven't done it in a while, and we're going to go back and look at them again, or some guys that have kind of done it a lot on JV, and that's kind of where we start in terms of looking for those crossover guys. We build it into practice. We kind of structure our practice so that when it's time for us to have an offensive team, any defensive kid that could ever potentially play has an opportunity to come over there and get reps, and then we do it, vice versa.
So them D tackles got to learn how to block as well.
we got a couple of guys that go back and forth on the offensive line, and even if they never play guard or tackle, if we want to get into a overloaded set and put an extra big body in there, they understand what they're doing and they can come in there and do that.
So are you excited about your defense? I know the defense is it's probably the most difficult thing to coach in the modern era of high school football, with all of the offenses and the spreads and all of that. So what do you think about your defense so far? I mean, I know it's very early in the season.
Yeah, that's today I will tell you. We can come back tomorrow if you like, and I'll tell you after we scrimmage. But the reality is, you go through the first few days of practice and you're really focused on technique of just how do you defeat a block, proper ways of tackling, pursuit angles, and all of those things. But the reality is you're not going to know what it is until you actually have to line up and tackle somebody. And so I do know that we have a lot of kids that played a lot of quality minutes last year and made a lot of big plays coming back. Our inside linebacker, Chase Milne, started for us last year. Yeah. He actually played some inside linebacker and played some defensive end.
He was leading the district in tackles for a while.
He was leading it for a while. We have Liam Walters, who was outside linebacker, and he's a returner, and he's had some flexibility. He's played in a couple of different spots and has made some big plays for us. Had a big interception versus Colleen Chaparral last year. And then on the defensive line, we have Caleb Lemire and Virgil Garcia And Timon Lawson,
he's back.
He's back again.
Yeah.
He's back again. And then in the secondary, we have Tyree Smith and Tyler Mormon. And we're going to break in a couple of new guys in the secondary. But, again, going back to those JV reps, the guys we're breaking in either had some quality reps last year on varsity or played almost every snap on JV. So they've gotten a ton of reps. It's just time to, put on the pads and see what the scrimmage looks like.
That's exciting right there.
Yeah. So, in terms of special teams, people forget about special teams. That can cost you a game.
Absolutely.
It can win you a game. Do you have a couple of kickers,
We
punters?
got one. Mr. Rodriguez is coming back.
He's coming back.
Yeah,
well,
he's
that's
back
a solid
again.
one.
Yeah.
You got to keep him healthy.
Yeah.
So he's going to handle both the punting and the place kicking duties?
Yeah, he's going to handle the punting and the place kicking duties. That's another thing we kind of do early in the season. You have him coming back, but we always do open it up and say, who thinks they can punt or kick, because everybody thinks they can. So
well, you never know. You might have some guy that just has a monster leg that you were unaware of, just needs a little bit of coaching.
Yeah. So
or somebody who's good at kicking outside kicks, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. and we go through and we do that. And we give the guys that we think might have a chance to do it a chance. We always get a couple of offensive linemen that swear they can kick a 50-yard field goal.
Come on, coach.
They're not as limber as they think they
no,
are.
they're not. Braden Maricchini is a young man that we, over the last few days, he kicked for us on the sub-varsity a little bit over the last couple of years, and he's still got a strong leg, so we feel like if the worst, situation happens, that we do have other young men that can get in and operate.
It can hurt you if you don't
Absolutely.
have a kicker.
Might have to go talk to the soccer team or something.
Yeah, and
shake something loose from over there.
Renee is a soccer player and is a really good soccer player as well. And so soccer team has been big in helping us find some of those specialists and things like that.
Well, that's awesome.
Okay, so you got a couple of scrimmages coming up.
Yep.
You got the intra-squad this Saturday. Then you got a one on the schedule that doesn't look like you've got an opponent yet on the 14th.
I'll get you an updated schedule. We're going to scrimmage Lockhart in Lockhart.
Okay.
Yeah, on August the 15th.
We lost a coach to those guys, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Coach Lumbreras went over and took over their defense down at Lockhart. He's the defensive coordinator there, so we'll see how that goes with him. We'll be happy to see him, but ready to beat him.
Yeah. Make him pay for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we'll follow that up with another scrimmage versus Austin Aikens on the 21st.
And then pre-district, you got Pflugerville, Hendrickson, and Del Valley. And obviously you go into every game wanting to win.
Yeah.
But those pre-district games, you also utilize it a little bit to kind of see, who's ready to perform under the lights, right? Because it's a lot different on Friday night with those lights on, the band playing, than it is for somebody at an afternoon scrimmage. So what are your thoughts on that pre-district schedule? What can we expect from those teams? Those are all pretty good teams.
Yeah.
I mean, Pflugerville's a playoff team from last year, I believe.
Yes.
And Hendrickson, while they've been down the last couple of years, is traditionally pretty good, as well as those are the other one is Del Valley, and they're a playoff team as well. Especially early in the year, they've got D1 athletes on both sides of the football.
Yeah,
so.
all three games are going to be good tests for us. I mean, that's what you're looking for in non-district is you're looking for teams that are going to stress out some of the things that you might be concerned with. Once you get to the district season, Pflugerville is going to be fairly big and pretty athletic, and so that'll be a good test for us to just hold up against some bigger size, and then just the pure athleticism to see how athletic we actually are. That's the way we view it. Can we run by some of their guys, and can we make some plays against some of their guys? And
Taylor's still their quarterback?
Yeah, he is. He's coming back for one more year. I thought maybe he might go straight baseball, but it's not.
Well, isn't his dad the coach?
His dad is the head coach,
It's kind of hard to say, I'm just going to play baseball, Dad.
Yeah, it is. And then, like you said, Hendrickson, very, very similar to Pflugerville. They're going to be, fairly decent size and pretty athletic. We, played well against them last year, so you're looking to put together another good game. And then Del Valley, as you said early on in the season. They're going to have some Division I type athletes, and so we're playing 3 quality opponents, and
I could see y'all going 3-0 in that.
Yeah.
Or maybe 2-1.
Yeah.
3-0.
Yeah, I think 3-0. But I mean, sometimes things don't break your way, and it's just beyond your control. So, but district is always tough, right? In fact, the opening game in district is against the district winner from last year, who we beat.
Yes, sir.
But they're going to be a little ornery about it when they.
I'm sure they are. Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on the district this year?
It's going to be, I think, very similar to last year. It's going to be every week. I know we would get home from our game and look at the scores and be shocked and surprised on who beat who or what the score was, and so it's a very competitive district. And I think with the guys that we have returning, we match up very well in the district, and we'll have an opportunity to go in and do some of the same things that we did last year. Our goal is, obviously, as we kind of finish out the year this year, just finish better than we did. Injuries are always an issue, but I think we do have the depth to kind of plug some holes when things go wrong. And so, we're excited about it. I know our offseason was really, really good. We had a lot of kids that were just engaged from start to finish. Sometimes offseason gets to be a lull and it kind of gets to be a drag, but it was really good the whole time, which we were excited about. And so we're just ready to take it. I'll say this every year: just take it game by game or day by day, and try not to get too far ahead. We talked to the kids. They're excited about what happened at Georgetown last year, and they're still talking about it.
They're beatable.
Yeah,
you can beat them.
Yeah, but you're trying to make sure that we take care of the inter-squad scrimmage first,
right?
And before we get there, and so, we are excited. We feel like we got a lot of talented kids coming back, and some of the pieces that we are missing that graduated last year, we feel like kids are stepping into those roles and really working to fill those spots.
Well, it's always exciting as a fan to watch new players and new faces come in year after year, and some of them etch their memory in your mind because of how they perform, but then other ones, they perform well, but the guy next year performs just as well, and you kind of interchange them a little bit if they're not your kid or your kid's best friend. But I think people in this that are tied to Leander are really excited about the direction the program's going, but it's just like there's a little hump we got to get over that little hump.
Yep.
And I'm confident that this could be that year.
Could be that year.
Frank, you have anything you want to add?
I'm just excited for this year. I mean, we just got to be
Frank's always ready to suit up.
Beat Pflugerville.
Well, hey, listen, we can use you at H-back right now. We as many bodies as we can get.
I want to give her about 2 snaps, Coach. I ain't going to lie.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll get you a sub.
2 snaps, and then he's on that fold-out table for a little while.
We have good trainers on campus. They'll take care of you.
I appreciate that.
Well, and there will be live coaches shows, I presume, throughout the season. Last year, those were scheduled. I don't know what's going on with the Booster Club. I mean, the same with players. Year in, year out, you get new leadership, and they want to do things their way. Just have them reach out to us, Coach, and we'll get all that scheduled.
Fantastic.
So, we want to thank Peter for his camera work, Frank for your help here on the broadcasting. Frank also does roof work. He's a booster for Leander football.
Which we appreciate.
He did my roof, and I couldn't be happier with the results of that. So if you're in need of roof work, look up RDZ Roofing. We want to thank you for coming out, Coach, and we'll see you at the I might come out tomorrow and watch a little bit of that scrimmage.
All right.
I'm usually not doing a whole lot, about 8:15.
I'll be there. I'll be there for sure.
But anyway, we want to thank everybody for listening. We want to thank Jardin Del Rey for hosting us tonight. And we'll see you at the next broadcast. Good night.
Go Lions.
Georgetown still got that big running back?